Appreciate everybody being here today. We worked through a rigorous process this week, followed our process on House Bill 1032. Appreciate the tremendous work of Representative Smalls and what he did. I appreciate the conversation here today, and look forward to seeing getting this bill through the House.
Mr. Speaker, how exactly are counties going to pay for the work that is inevitably ahead of them if this bill does end up passing out of the Senate?
We've talked to counties, and there's language in the bill that sets up the opportunity for election division to help them. And look, we have every reason to want to see them be successful in this, and we'll do everything we can to provide the support for them.
So does that mean the election division is going to give them the money to do this?
They will be supported.
Mr. Speaker, how confident are you that this will ultimately pass in the Senate?
I'm worried about what's happening in the House. The Senate will have a chance to deliberate on next week.
I saw you working the floor a little bit. Do some of your members need convincing on this, or?
Oh no, we were actually talking about a lot of different things.
Have you had a chance to speak to Senate President Pro Tem about this bill at all today, about it, or where the bill will go from here?
No, I'm sure the Senate follow their processes like they always do, and I have a tremendous amount of respect for Senator Brett and what how he will handle it.
In committee, almost everybody spoke against this idea. What did that tell you, and how did that factor into the decision?
Well, look, I don't think it's uncommon on any controversial bill that the vast majority of people show up or are not in support of the bill. So, but we appreciate their input and their feedback. And as Representative Smalls laid out very, I think, well this week, he got the bill into a really good place.
How do you respond to the complaints that the capital city, Indianapolis, is going to not have a unified representative anymore?
Well, I mean, look, the maps were drawn for political purposes, and I think having 4 people representing your county, we were talking about a little bit early, doesn't strike me as a really bad thing. You have 4 people that care about you.
What happens if the Democrats take the majority in Congress and the state doesn't have any?
Well, there are plenty of states where there's the majority of Congress doesn't match the congressional delegation. We'll have to ask.
Well, the bill's author has acknowledged that it will most likely be up to the courts to determine if this bill passes muster. How concerned are you that the courts could strike it down, assuming that it passes in the Senate?
I feel like we've done everything we can to make sure it passes constitutional muster.
Does the decision yesterday from the Supreme Court give you more confidence that whatever you pass, should it pass, would stand the test?
I think the bill was aligned with what I understand the decision yesterday was. Well, I did. I mean, I actually meant to note that. I said that. And look, I think what's changed is time and place. And, when we were doing the maps in 2021, things were a little different then. And I don't regret the comments I made in 2021. Like on a lot of things, time and place matter. And so, we went through this process this year.
Is this something you're proud of?
I am very blessed to lead the Indiana House of Representatives, and I feel like, obviously I support this, and I support what we're doing.
Turning Point says it will challenge or spend money challenging people who vote against this. Will the House caucus support its own members?
Absolutely, and look, we've worked very hard on this issue, and we feel great about our members, and we're thrilled to get this, through the House with a very strong vote.
If yesterday the governor said that the Senate will vote this down, it's not going to go away. Is what the White House has put into it. Do you worry about that happening? This pressure if the Senate does?
I'm not sure I know exactly what that means, to be honest with you, Tom. I'm not sure what he was referring to.
Did you feel pressure from the White House to redistrict, though? Is that what initially made you guys want to take this up?
No, look, I mean, obviously we had conversations. It was no secret. It was reported on a lot by Adam about conversations that were had. And but no, I mean, look, we talked about it. The environment. We don't operate in a vacuum. I mean, really, pretty dramatic steps were taken in California and Virginia. Recently, and I think for a lot of us that told us like this is not an Indiana issue, this is a national issue, and Indiana can't bury its head in the sand, but it has to be engaged.
If the Senate,
Threats of financial
If the Senate shoots it down, is there any space for it to be brought back?
I'm not. Look, it's been a long week. We'll deal with whatever happens.
Were there any threats of financial retribution in some form or fashion from the White House? Any of those concerns that ever?
Never had that at all.
Speaking of the House is currently passed for the House, how confident are you that that will yield a 9-0 Republican congressional split in 2020?
I think if you look at the political data that was used in consideration of mass, I feel very good.
You said in the past that you weren't exactly happy, just paraphrasing, with the political climate that's led to all of these changes happening in different states. Is this something that you feel like is going to allow you to feel better about that, or do you think that the political climate is just going to be where it is?
Well, look, I think I want to be fair to this week, and I should have said this. I said this in my remarks. I can't be more appreciative of my colleagues on the Democratic side. They fought and they advocated for their issue and their constituents, and I really, really appreciate that. I think the political climate that many people see and hear isn't the political climate many of us experience. That being said, the fact of the matter is, again, nationally, this has not been, we don't operate in a vacuum, and states are doing this all across the country, red and blue states, and we felt like it was important for us to be a part of that and to make sure that, we used every tool we could to support a strong Republican majority.
The bill's author says that this is for purely political gain. What would your message be to Hoosiers who feel like their vote may be disenfranchised as a result of this bill, assuming it passes in the Senate?
Well, again, this is people will be represented one way or the other. Every Hoosier will have a congressman or woman after this, and we'll have opportunity to work with that person.
Speaker, did you have any conversations with former Governor Mitch Daniels or Mike Pence about redistricting?
I'm not going to talk about who all I've talked to. I had a lot of people provide feedback, and people I respect, and on both sides of the issue, it's been a long, deliberate process.
Is it fair to say you were resistant to this idea when it was first pitched to you?
Again, like when first brought forward, I think I've been very clear to say that it was, I struggled with understanding it, and then kind of as things took shape across the nation, what took place in Texas and California and Missouri and North Carolina, and then the extraordinary actions taking place in Virginia. I think there's a lawsuit filed recently in New York. I think it just made me realize this. Once I realized this just wasn't an Indiana issue, I became much more comfortable with it. All right, thank you guys. Enjoy your afternoon. Thanks for hanging with us.